All praise to the Most High, Ahaya and Ahaya alone. For He alone is our Savior. He alone is our Master. He alone is our Redeemer. He alone is our King. AHAYAH. This is Brother Holly with the second Spirit of Truth broadcast here on the AHAYAH'S channel, as well as the House of Ahaya channel on this set apart Sabbath day. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Ahaya, the great I am, for He is our Master, our Savior, our Redeemer, our King. He alone is the one who gives us life. He is alone the one who gives us health. He is alone the one who gives us wealth. And He alone is the one who's going to gather His people from the four corners of the earth, put us back in the kingdom, resurrect David to be king and prince over us forever, and come and tabernacle with His people, the chosen seed of Jacob, forever and forever. AHAYAH. Wow. Okay. We'll be reading from the Book of Jubilees, English Hebrew version, special edition. And I like reading from this version of the Book of Jubilees. The one in the Sefer has been, in my opinion, been tampered with. It's more of a Greek Septuagint version of the Book of Jubilees, in my opinion. And this Hebraic version, it reads a little different. I think it communicates the message from the Book of Jubilees a little stronger. And another reason I like the Book of Jubilees itself is that it gives a little bit of deeper understanding of what's written in Genesis, especially stuff dealing with Jacob, Esau, Isaac, and his mother, and Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. All praises. So, and what we'll be looking at is we're going to keep banging on what we talked about in the first broadcast, how honoring your mother and father and taking care of your mother and father and loving your mother and father and obeying your mother and father, which you were commanded, which I was commanded, which you're all commanded in not only in the Ten Commandments, but throughout the Torah, as well as the Apocryphal books, something that the contradictory New Testament with the New Testament Joshua, something that he completely blew out the water. And we looked at it in Luke 14. You can look at it again, look at it as many times as you want to. He actually factually told you to hate your mother and father. And we're going to see a caricature from the scriptures who absolutely showed hatred toward his mother and father, and how that hatred toward his mother and father led to his ultimate dismissal and removal from the things of the kingdom. All praises. If you have it, turn with me to the Book of Jubilees, chapter 27. And let's start reading at verse 13. Jubilees 27 and 13. And it came to pass afterwards that Jacob had risen to go into Paran-aram, and the spirit of Rebekah was grieved for her son after her son went, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, my sister, weep not on account of Jacob, my son, for he goes in peace, and in peace he shall return. AHAYAH shall preserve him from all evil, and he shall be with him, for he shall not forsake him all the days of his life. Here is Isaac, Jacob and Esau's father, speaking about Jacob to his wife Rebekah, saying that the AHAYAH, or the Most High, is going to be with Jacob all the days of his life. Now, I'm saying this as a pretext to what is going to be said about Esau in the coming week, in the coming moments. And you're going to see, hopefully from the scriptures here in Jubilees, what is also said about Jacob. But not only this about his father and mother, but other things that they said about Jacob. And you're going to see clearly why Jacob was favored by his mother and father, as well as by Ahia, and why Esau was dishonored and disfavored by his mother and father. And we read in Sirach chapter 5, in the first broadcast, you saw it. If you don't honor your mother and father, you won't be blessed in the earth. We're going to see it played out. All praises. I'll read it again. Jubilees 27:15. AHAYAH shall preserve him from all evil, speaking of Jacob, and he shall be with him, for he shall not forsake him all the days of his life. For I saw that Yahweh shall prosper his ways. His ways shall be in all things wheresoever he goes, until he return in peace unto us, and we see him in peace. Fear not on his account, my sister, for his way is upright. Well, you highlight. Now here Isaac, speaking of his son Jacob, saying to his wife Rebekah that their son Jacob is an upright man. His way is upright. I'll read it again. This is Jubilees 27:17. Fear not on his account, my sister, for his way is upright, and he is a perfect man. And he is faithful and shall not perish, weep not. Not only was Jacob upright, and the term Yasha'Allah means the upright of Allah, or the upright of the Most High. So even his name change signifies of his upright standing with the Most High, that he was righteous. But here his father, who knows him well, been knowing him since the day he was born, watched him grow up, and had a twin brother to compare him to. That would be Esau. He had one son that was righteous and one that was a heathen. And we know from the book of Genesis why that was. Did not the messenger, did not the Malakah, did not the angel tell Rebekah that there are two manner of people in her womb, that there are two nations or nationalities in her womb, and two manner of people who shall be separated from her womb? Of course, you got the wild man, Esau, who we'll come to see is wicked to the core, and you got righteous Jacob, who his parents even realized how righteous and upright he is. I'll continue. This is Jubilees chapter 27, verse 17. Fear not on his account, my sister. This is Isaac speaking to his wife Rebekah. And forgive me if I rub my neck. I've had a sore neck for weeks now, and it comes and goes. It's just I don't know. I maybe need vacation. Fear not on his account, my sister, for his way is upright, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful and shall not perish, weep not. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of Jacob her son, and blessed him. Now turn over, if you will, in your book of Jubilees, to Jubilees chapter 29. Now we're going to skip around a little bit because I'm trying to paint the overall picture. The book of Jubilees is very descriptive. It's even more descriptive than Genesis, which is basically a recounting of the book of Genesis. But it is highly descriptive. So just to honor your time, I'm skipping around and not reading every word of it, even though we could, but that would take hours. So I'm skipping around in order to illustrate the point that it's bringing out from the scriptures. Not my point, the point that's here. Because I'm not adding or taking away from the word. I'm just reading what it says in context of what had been said previously. So let's continue. Jubilees chapter 29, let's look at verse 14. And in the first year of the 5th week of this Jubilee, he crossed Jordan, speaking of Jacob, and dwelt beyond the Jordan, and pastured his sheep from the land of Gilead to Beersheba, and unto Dothan, and unto Araquim. And he sent to his father Isaac of all his substance. This is Jacob. And he sent unto his father, speaking of Isaac, of all his substance, clothing and food and meat and drink and milk and oil and cheese and some dates of the valley. And he sent unto his mother Rebekah also 4 times a year between the times of the months, between the plowing and the reaping, and between autumn and the rain season, and between winter and spring, to the tower of Abraham. For Isaac had returned from Beersheba to go up to the tower of his father Abraham, and he dwelt there apart from his son Esau. So we see when Jacob returned back into the land, when he crossed Jordan and began to tabernacle there on this side Jordan, in the shadow or in the region where the Tower of Abraham was, and the Tower of Abraham is a geological location brought out in the Book of Jubilees. There's no other place I know of where it's spoken of except the Book of Jubilees. But it's a very prominent location. And here we read in Jubilees 29 that Isaac, Jacob's father, had returned to the tower, and he was tabernacling. He was living there, and he was apart from his son Esau. And Jacob, knowing that his father was there, would send unto his father out of all that he had. He would send his father gifts. He would send his mother gifts. And we're going to see here in a moment from the Book of Jubilees that Esau's interaction with his mother and father were completely opposite than that. But we're getting a look-see into how Jacob viewed his mother and father. Let's read it again. This is Jubilees chapter 29, verse 14. And in the first year of the 5th week in this Jubilee, he crossed, speaking of Jacob, the Jordan, and dwelt beyond the Jordan to pasture his sheep from the land of Gilead unto Beth-shean, and unto Dotan, and unto Araquim. And he sent to his father, this is verse 15, Jubilees 29:15, and he, speaking of Jacob, sent to his father Isaac of all his substance, clothing and food and meat and drink and milk and oil and cheese and some dates of the valley. And he sent to his mother Rebekah also 4 times a year, between the times of the months, between the plowing and the reaping, between the autumn and the rain season, between winter and the spring, to the tower of Abraham. For Isaac had returned from Beersheba and gone up to the tower of his father Abraham, and he dwelt there apart from his son Esau. He didn't want to be around Esau. And we're going to find out here in a moment why. Why didn't Isaac not want to be around his son Esau? Isaac, in comforting his wife, we read it a few chapters ago, when Isaac was comforting his wife Rebekah, he's about Jacob leaving. He said he was an upright and perfect man. And he moved to the tower of Abraham to be apart from his son Esau. Let's find out. We're going to skip down to verse 20. We just read, that was Jubilees 29:16. Let's skip down to verse 20. Verse 19. And Isaac went up from Beersheba and dwelt in the tower of Abraham his father in the mountains of Cherubim. And there Jacob sent all that he did send to his father and his mother from time to time, of anything they lacked. This is Jubilees 29:20. And there Jacob sent all that he did send to his father and his mother from time to time, of anything they lacked, and they blessed Jacob with all their heart and with all their soul. And I wrote in the margin, Jacob honored his parents. Now, did we not read from the Torah earlier in the book of Exodus that if you curse your mother and father, you're going to surely be put to death? If you strike your mother and father, you should surely be put to death. It's a sin unto death. Any sin that will cause you to be put to death is a sin unto death by definition. And striking your mother and father or cursing your mother and father is a sin unto death. Wow. Let's see who committed a sin unto death between the brothers. And it was told to Esau that he would do this. He would commit a sin unto death. And we're going to read it here. We're going to go back a little bit in the interactions between the three men, Jacob, Esau, and Isaac, in the book of Jubilees. We're going to go back a little bit in Jubilees to the time when Jacob had received a blessing from Isaac and Esau was begging his father for a blessing. Let's read it. This is Jubilees 26. Let's start reading at verse 32. This is Jubilees 26:32. And Esau said to Isaac his father, have you but one blessing, O father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. This is Jubilees 26:33. And Isaac answered, and he said unto him, behold, from the dew of the earth shall be your dwelling, and from the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword you shall live, and shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass that if you do not rest, that you will not rest content, and you shall break his yoke off your neck. But you shall sin a sin unto death, and your seed shall be cut off from under heaven. Will you highlight and underline if you got it? Now, I ask you to highlight and underline that part because that's not found in the book of Genesis. What I just read to you from Jubilees 26 is not found in the telling of the story from the book of Genesis. Up until that point is that he'll live by the sword, that the dew of heaven will be his dwelling. He'll basically live outside, and he'll rule by sword, and when he gets strong enough, he'll cast his brother's yoke off his neck. All that's in Genesis. It's almost a repeat. But a part that is most critical for this presentation is not in Genesis. You won't find it there. Nowhere, no how. It's only found here in Jubilees. And it's critical to your understanding of why Esau's cut off. It goes right back to the point we made in the first broadcast. He dishonored his mother and father. We're going to show it. And by dishonoring your mother and father, the Most High cut you off for good. If you follow the instructions of New Testament Joshua telling you to hate your mother and father, and your wife and your kids and everybody, including yourself, you can't be his disciple. You don't want to be his disciple. It's going to cause you to be cast into hell. Wow. I'll read it again. Jubilees 26:34. And by your sword you shall live and shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass that you will not rest content, and you shall break his yoke off your neck. But you shall sin unto death, and your seed shall be cut off from under heaven. And in verse 35, this is Jubilees 26:35. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And he said in his heart, henceforth the days of mourning for my father are at hand, and then I will slay my brother Jacob. All right, let's skip ahead. All praises. Forgive me, I lost my marker. My marker fell out while I was moving forward in Jubilees. Now I found my spot. Thank you for your patience. Turn, if you will, if you have a book of Jubilees, Jubilees chapter 35. And this is a bit of a long read, so thank you for your patience again. Jubilees 35:1. And in the first year of the first week of the 45th Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son and commanded him concerning his father and concerning his brother, for Jacob to honor them all the days of his life. Now, here you got Rebekah telling Jacob not only to honor his father, Isaac, but to also honor his brother Esau. And Jacob said, this is Jubilees 35:2. And Jacob said, I shall do everything as you have commanded me. For this thing shall be honor and greatness to me. Did not the New Testament, Salaki, did not the Old Testament say that? That if you honor your mother and father, your days shall be long on earth, and you shall prosper, you shall do well in the land. Did not it say that? Here Jacob is repeating the very thing that is going to be said in the law, but hundreds of years later. Wow. Jubilees 35:2, and Jacob said, I shall do everything as you have commanded me, speaking of his mother. For this thing shall be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before AHAYAH, that I should honor them. His mother asked him to both honor his father and his older brother. And he said, I'm going to do it, Mama. Mama, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you told me to do. Thus honoring her, as well as because he did it with knowledge. He said, this is going to lead to my greatness. This is going to lead to the Most High, to AHAYAH, to bless me and protect me and honor me and prosper me. This is Jubilees 35:3. And you, my mother, know from the time I was born until this day all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that all my days I have always thought good concerning every man. This is Jacob's own testimony of himself. You won't find this in Genesis. It's only here in Jubilees. So I continue. And how should I not do this thing which you have commanded me, but that I should honor my father and my brother? Will you highlight? He is stuck on this. He has understood something that you and I need to understand. It was brought out in Sirach chapter 5. There is such a blessing in honoring your father. There is such a blessing in honoring your mother. Everything work off. It says that if you don't do it, you're a blasphemer. Wow. Jubilees 35:5. Tell me, my mother, what iniquity have you seen in me? And I will surely turn away from it, and I shall have mercy. Wow. He that confesses and forsakes his sin shall find mercy. That's in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. If you turn away from your iniquity, you'll find mercy. He said, look, mama, you see some sin in me. Let me know. I'll stop doing that so I may have mercy. I'll read it again. And how should I, this is Jubilees 35:5. Tell me, my mother, what iniquity have you seen in me? And I will surely turn away from it, and I shall have mercy. And she said unto him, my son, I have not seen in you all my days any iniquity, but only uprightness and the truth. And yet I shall tell you the truth, my son. I shall die this year, and shall not come out of this year alive. For I have seen in my dream the day of my death, that I should not live above 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said to him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength, and her strength was not faint. For she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong, and no infirmity had touched her all the days of her life. So he's looking at his old grandma mother, who's 135, according to Jubilees. But her 135 is like most women's 40. Her teeth strong, eyesight good, she come and go she want to, she up and around. He said, Mama, you ain't about to die. But she had saw in a dream, Most High showed her. We're going to get, this is just filler, and we're just going to, for context, we're going to read. But don't miss the point. He was honoring his father and his brother, and he knew that that would lead to him being him everything going well and the Most High blessing him, just like it said in Torah. This is to continue to wash your mind with full of soap, as it says in Malachi, that you be washed with full of soap from the contamination that you read over in the God spell in the New Testament. Let's get some more washing. This is Jubilees 35:8. And Jacob said to her, "Blessed am I, my mother, if my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me thus as your strength. And you shall not die, for you are speaking vainly with me about your death." And she came to Isaac and said to him, "One request I shall ask of you. Make Esau," this is Jubilees 35:9. And she came to Isaac and said unto him, "One request I shall ask of you. Make Esau swear that he shall not transgress against Jacob, nor pursue him with hatred. For you know the imagination of Esau's heart, that it is evil from his youth." Will you highlight, underline? "And there is no goodness in him, for he seeks to kill him after your death." You can read that in Genesis. This ain't news. But here in Jubilees, we didn't get this conversation in Genesis, but here in Jubilees, you get a conversation that here Rebecca's talking to her husband about her own son Esau and how evil he is. Wow. For all you camp banging brothers still locked in Hebrew Christendom, y'all need to read Jubilees, man. Y'all want to bang on Esau? Here you go. There's some bang on Esau ammo for you. Jubilees 35:10. "And you know all that he has done since the day Jacob his brother went to Canaan until this day, how he has forsaken us." Now here is a blow by blow from the mouth of his own mama, Esau's mama, Rebecca, on how Esau is toward his parents. Jubilees 35:10. "And you know all that he has done since the day Jacob his brother went to Canaan until this day, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart and has done evil to us. Your flocks has he taken to himself and carried off all your possessions from before you." Look, Esau would just roll into his parents' crib and take anything he wanted to take. He'd roll out to his daddy's flocks and just take what he wanted to take. Wouldn't ask nothing. No, Jacob was the opposite. Jacob would pour out of his possessions into his parents. Esau would go to his parents and steal from them. Wow. And y'all want to say this character. Y'all want to buddy up with him. Man, Esau is evil, so is his seed. Preach. Like I said, cap banging Hebrew Christianites, if you want to bang on Esau hard, here you go. Jubilees 35. Verse 11. "And when we inquired and demanded him concerning what was ours, he did as a man who was taking pity on us." Oh, yeah. You want it back? Oh, yeah. Wow. Jubilees 35:12. "And his heart is bitter against you because you did bless Jacob, your perfect and upright son." Underline, highlight that. "For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Canaan until this day, he has not withheld anything from us. For he brings us everything in its season every day." Wow. You talk about honoring your mother and father. That's how you do it. All the children of Jacob, hear me loud and proud. All you 12 tribes. Let's all act like our great forefather, Jacob. Let us be upright and righteous every day by taking care of our mother and father every day. If your mother and father is still with you, still with us right now, Brother Holly, mama and daddy gone on. But if they were here right now, I sent him something. I want to be on the right side of this. I don't want to be like Esau. Don't be like Esau. I'll read it again. Jubilees 35:12. And his heart is bitter against you. Speaking, this is Rebekah speaking to Isaac about Esau. And his heart is bitter against you because you did bless Jacob, your perfect and upright son. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Canaan until this day, he has not withheld anything from us, for he brings us everything in his season every day. And he rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hands, and he blesses us and has not separated from us from the day he came from Canaan until this day. And he remains with us continually in our home, honoring us. Wow. Let's see what Isaac said. Verse 13, this is Jubilees 35:13. And Isaac said to her, I know and have seen the deeds of Jacob, who is with us, how with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob from the day of his birth. But now I love Jacob more than Esau. Highlight, underline, campaign brothers. Read Jubilees 35. Here Isaac had a change of heart. He had seen the actions of his two sons, Jacob and Esau. He had a change of heart. I used to love Esau. I loved him more than Jacob before. Not no more. I love Jacob now. Wow. I'll read it again. Jubilees 35:13. And Isaac said to her, I know and have seen the deeds of Jacob, who is with us, how with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob from the day of his birth. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him, for all his ways are violent and oppressive. Wow. Wonder who that might be in the earth today. What group of people, my brethren, what group of people are violent and oppressive always? Wow. And there is no righteousness around him. What group of people today ain't got no righteousness around him? Wow. Jubilees 35:14. And now my heart is troubled concerning all of his deeds, and neither he nor his seed, listen up, because Esau refused to bless his mother and father, refused to honor them, stole from them, treated them bad. Listen up. Listen what Isaac said. Jubilees 35:14. And now my heart is troubled concerning all his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved, for they shall perish and be cut off from under the heavens. For he has forsaken the AHAYAH of Abraham and gone after his wives and their uncleanliness and after their error, and he and his children. They became a bunch of idol worshipers. And don't them heathens today, Esau's kin today, worship idols? And haven't they tricked some of our brethren, some of my own brothers and sisters of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and are following them in their foolishness, in their idol worship? I'll read it again. This is Jubilees 35:14. And now my heart is troubled concerning all the deeds, neither he nor his seed is to be saved. Speaking of Esau. For they shall perish and be cut off from under the heavens, for he has forsaken the AHAYAH of Abraham and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanliness, and after their error, he and his children. And you bid me to make him swear that he shall not slay Jacob his brother, even if he swear. He shall not abide by his oath, and he shall not do good but evil. He said, look, he said, give me a full. Hey, I'm calling a full for Isaac. Isaac told me why he said, give me a full. You know as well as I do. Even if Esau swears, I ain't going to touch Jacob. He lying. He going to kill him first chance he gets as soon as I'm gone. Even if I make him take an oath, he just going to break it. What people on the earth today, you can't trust a word they say. Broke every treaty they ever made. They promised the world, oh, I'll give you money. Just keep on stealing. Keep on killing. Keep on oppressing. Wow. I'll read it again. And if you bid me to make him swear, speaking of Isaac making Esau swear that he ain't going to touch Jacob. If you bid him to make him swear that he shall not slay Jacob his brother, even if he swear, he shall not abide by his oath, and he shall not do good but evil. But if he desires to slay Jacob his brother, he shall be given into the hand of Jacob, and he shall not escape from his hand, but he shall fall into his hands. And you fear not on account of Jacob. This is why, here, listen up, children of Jacob. This is why we ain't got nothing to be afraid of. Here it is. Listen to your great, multiple time great grandfather Isaac. He's letting you, he's blessing you right now. Hear it out. This is Jubilees 35:17. And you fear not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and honored and praised more than the guardian of Esau. Wow. Esau got an evil spirit over him. Esau ain't got the spirit of God. Esau ain't got the angels of righteousness, the holy angels over him. No. And the righteous angels that guard the children, Jacob and his children, are greater than them demons that drive the children of Esau. Esau is to be cut off from the earth. Esau and his seed cannot be saved because Esau disobeyed. Esau dishonored his parents. Esau and his seed are evil from the core. And it was Esau's seed speaking to you in the New Testament, telling you to hate your mother and father. That lie was of Esau. The children of Jacob are to honor their mother and father, that our days may be long on the earth, and that AHAYAH would bless us forever. All praises to AHAYAH and AHAYAH alone, for he is our master, savior, redeemer, and king. Yada.